What's up, guys? It's Sense World, and today we're going to be talking about how to create a reese bass, or in other words, how to create a bass like Andrew Rayel, or John Nelson, or Marcus Schultz, and so forth. Now, this bass isn't really like what you would consider it like a kind of like a rolling bass or like an electro house bass. It's more of a bass that's underneath everything. It's like a little bit above the kick drums frequencies. It's around that area and it just fills the low end out. So when you use this kind of bass, and you could hear it in Andrew Rayel's productions, like his new song "Sus" or "Musa," or some of Orjan Nilsen's stuff, like what's the name of that song? Well, I know he has it for Violet, Violetta, his new track, and there was another one that it's not coming into my head right now. But they all use a reese bass, and generally what a reese bass does, it's the same thing as doing having a sub underneath, except it's the reese bass, so it kind of you can kind of hear it. Also, I made a kick bass tutorial before, and I talked about how much space it left and all this stuff. Well, the reese bass is kind of similar to that, where you have this, and usually the artist is gonna have like a big lead on the top, and that's pretty much it. But with the reese bass, then you can put pads and so much more, you know. So this is how it's gonna sound. So that's gonna be the reese bass we're making, and if you hear Andrea Sue's and the tracks I mentioned, like the Expedition by Marcus Schultz, they use a similar bass line. So let's get straight into making it, okay? So for oscillator one, we're gonna want to add a pulse saw PWM wave. So it's just a wave, a saw wave, but the wavetable position is changed and the width of the pulse. So you get those options when you choose this oscillator. And we're gonna put the the marker. Don't worry about the green right now, the LFOs. We'll do that later. So you're gonna put the green at 1 by default, the pulse width at 11 by default, where the amp's gonna be all the way up. You're gonna leave the all the filters in the center because we're gonna be routing them to filter 2 and filter 1, whichever you choose to. So for oscillator 2, we're gonna use the sine square, and we're gonna change the wavetail position all the way to the right. Now, when we do this, when we leave it to all the way to the right, pretty much we're just using a square wave. But if we were to leave this in the middle, we would get both characteristics. We would get a little bit of the sine, a little bit of the square. We're gonna put the intensity up to 12 o'clock. So pretty much this is how strong or how fierce it is. So pretty much all you need to know. You put the amp, this one at around probably 8, and then you're gonna get a formant saw, which is in the digital hybrid section, and it's pretty much just another fancy term for a saw wave. We're gonna lower that down by 5, the pitch down by 5. Sorry, for oscillator 1, lower the pitch down to -12, and oscillator 2 -24. So this one's down by 1 octave, down by 2 octaves, and this is just down by a fifth. Okay, so then we're gonna go to our modulation oscillator. We're gonna put a phasing on oscillator 1, and you wanna leave it like right this, but you're gonna put the pitch to 12, okay? Then the filter FM as well to 1, and just leave it like this. Then you're gonna go to the feedback section, you're gonna turn the feedback on. You're gonna put the amp all the way up to 11, and we're gonna leave the filters in the middle as well. Then we're gonna go to our insert 1, which is pretty much a set of effects. For, that's what I like to call them. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn it on. You're gonna put an S shaper, which is gonna a sine shaper, which is gonna change the way the sine wave sounds like over here. So we're gonna put the drive weight at 12, and then the drive at 11, and then we're gonna put a P shaper, parabolic shaper, and you're gonna put that at around 10, 11 o'clock, and the drive same as insert 1, like around 11. Okay, so now next thing comes is the tricky part, is the routing right here. Make sure it looks exactly like it does on my massive right now. So I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds just to check it. Shouldn't be that much to change. I know I changed filter 2 here. I changed the insert 2 here. I took it off. I put it here. Okay, so hopefully you guys have it. If not, you can always pause the video. Now we're going to our oscillator tab. What we're gonna do is we're gonna just leave the glide time at 0. We're gonna put the vibrato like at 1 o'clock and the depth at 8. Okay. We're gonna go to our voicing and we're gonna put the unisono up to 4. The pan position, we're gonna turn that on and leave it at mono. You always want your bass to be mono. You never want it to be wide or full. You want your whites to be like the hi-hats and all that stuff when you hear it. We're gonna do this monophone, not polyphone. So monophone, all it does is it just lets you play one note at a time. With polyphone, you can play many, but with this type of bass, you're not gonna be able to play more than one note, or else it's gonna sound really bad. I don't know why I changed this to 0.50 here if I don't have it on, so that shouldn't matter, and this shouldn't matter either. And make sure just it's centered, okay? So routing and global's done. Okay, so let's get into our filters. For filter 1, you want a low pass filter. You want to put that all the way up. You want to put the cutoff at 10. Low pass filter, all it does is just lets the lows pass through. So if you notice that the lower the cutoff, the less of the high frequencies you can hear most of the time. The resonance, you're just gonna put it here, and that just decides how much is let out from the cutoff. Then we're gonna put for filter to a DAF filter. Same thing, cutoff is gonna be at 10, and the resonance is gonna be a little bit higher on that, up to 11 or 10. Okay, so these um um locations I'm telling you to put the knobs, they don't really have to be exact, and you can always change them to your liking. So don't feel like it has to be precise to get the sound results that I'm gonna be getting at the end of this tutorial. Okay, so we put a dimension expander, and this is pretty much where you would put a macro. So you want to put your effects 1. We're going to put a dimension expander. It's just going to make it bigger. It's going to make the bass sound wider. Okay, so you want to put the size about 11. And then the dry and wet, that's going to be a macro. So you get to decide when it comes in and so forth. For the chorus, this is really important. We're going to put a chorus ensemble, and we're going to put the dry and wet at 11. We're going to put the rate of the chorus at around 2, the offset at 1, and the depth at 1 or 2. And we're going to add a little bit of EQ here. Your low shelf is going to be at around, let's say 1 o'clock, and the boost is going to be like around 1 o'clock as well. Frequency all the way down, and high shelf all the way down. So getting rid of those highs. Okay, so once we have that, let's work on an oscillator now. We'll go to oscillator 5, and you pretty much want on a normal sine, LFO. And sorry if I said oscillator, I mean LFO wave, sorry. Okay, so LFO is going to be at 2. We're going to drag this and we're going to put it here in the pulse stop position, and we're going to put that up, okay? So you're going to click and you're going to pull it up. And we're going to do the same thing, drag this one here and just pull it up to around where the green is, around 1 or 2 o'clock. Okay, now let's go to our fourth envelope. We want to put the attack all the way down. Fourth envelope is always routed to the amp, and the amp is pretty much where the sound comes out of, and whatever you put in here, that's how the sound's going to come out. So we have a low attack, the sound's going to come out instantly. If we have a high attack, it's going to gradually come out. So that's just the difference about that. It's really not, that hard to figure this stuff out. Okay, so the attack's all the way down, level all the way up, so we're going to have max volume here. We want our decay to be at 1 o'clock, level all the way up. And then we want our release to be at 12, a little bit before 12. And then we should get that, okay? So once we have that, we should be getting this. Trying to play that scary song, okay? So once we have this, then next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be pairing it up with a kick drum. Okay, so I'm going to try and just forget that I have my thing routed to 1, so I kind of, think I might have fucked the video up. But anyways, we're going to put the kick drum here, and we're going to pretty much start doing the whole bass. So let me just put the kick drum here. You do this, right click, consolidate. Whoops, that sounds bad, my bad. Consolidate this. Okay, so that has a kind of low end thing I don't like, but it's fine. We'll just leave it for now. Just put a kick. So once we put that sub bass, you're gonna hear the difference, and we're just gonna EQ it, just to make it go with the the kick bass, so it doesn't interfere with it, and then we'll be good to go. So let's put an EQ8 on the sub. Let's go low on this. I like the so we'll put it at F too. Okay, there. So I'm gonna lower this a notch here. Now the only reason you would do what I'm doing right now is if the bass is playing at the same time the kick hits. So if you were making trance and let's say you have a rolling bass line, the bass line always hits like after the kick. So the bass line and the kick aren't gonna be interfering that much. So you don't really have to do this. You can do it, but not as much. Here we're trying to get rid as much as we can from the frequency where the kick drum's gonna be present. So a good way to find where your kick drum is present in the heart of it that you want to come out is you put a spectrum on it. So you see the highest point here. We have it at around 50 and around that. So you're gonna use your ears for this. So we're gonna go from 50 to 100 and see which one sounds better. So here we are at 50. Oops, sorry. Okay, and then we're gonna add some sidechain to it. Sidechain's another way of kind of making it so the frequencies don't fight with each other. So you want the kick to come out. And let me see. Let me get a plug-in. I'm gonna use a preset for this, and then put in some random notes. I know the sound bank that has a lot of trance, pretty big trance leads that just get decayed. So let's do this, and then we're gonna let's put a big trance, put the mod up. Okay, and let's put something in. I don't know what I'm putting in right now, so let's just stay with the scale. It's an F, so we'll use an F for this too. Okay, so let's see an F. Okay, so let's just make a normal kind of thing like this, and then add like okay, so I forgot it's gonna be. We're gonna need to put this up since it's low. Higher. Okay, let's see this. Do the off bass thing here. And then let's get W and W on it. Okay, let's put pitch bend on it. So next thing you would do is probably cue the lead, but you know it's pretty simple. You know, just get pretty much like a low and just yeah, and then let's put this up. Let's put this up. Put this so let's lower the volume on. Just the volume here. Put a compressor to make it come out. Lower these volumes. Start from the beginning. So pretty much that's a simple way of making it. So that's what you use a reese bass for. It allows you to put a lead like this and just have it sound really big and compress it a lot. So anyways guys, I hope this was helpful, and you know, this Monday I'm gonna be releasing another sound design tutorial. I just felt like I wanted to make this one right now, and it's Saturday, so hopefully you guys get to see it and expect the video by Monday. If you want the preset for this, I'll put it up on my Facebook page. It's Sense World, just like my name on YouTube, and just go and like the page. Please make sure to subscribe on YouTube as well. Really appreciate all the support I'm getting from you guys and your messages. So hopefully this is as helpful as it's, for you guys, as I think it's gonna be. Alright, anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in.